there was this announcement on the radio from the US Embassy. The announcement from the US Embassy was that if people are applying for a US visa, they need to make sure that their social media handles are set to public. A lot of people have their social media handles set to private, especially on Instagram, right? We've seen that. But the US Embassy made this announcement, and it caught my attention because I've been trying to apply for a visa to the US for a conference, but somehow there's no availability, and I blame it on the Afrikaners, but that's a story for another day, right? I couldn't find a date before my conference for an interview, and that really frustrated me. And the Afrikaners are like, hey, anybody else want to travel to the US? Wait until we are done with this, okay? So this announcement on radio 2 days ago caught my attention because I was thinking about the US, apparently. And they said, effective immediately, all individuals applying for these visas, non-immigrant visas, right, are requested to adjust their privacy settings on all their social media accounts to public. One of the things I noticed because when I got back from the conference, I had to Google this to see the validity of this and all of that. So when I started researching on it online, there were people who were kind of upset. Why is the US Embassy asking for our privacy? I'm like, listen, they've been doing this. They're just making the announcement publicly now. They've been doing it. And so they're explaining that they take all of these channels to assess the applicant and their admissibility into the US and all of that, the blah, blah, blah stuff, you know. But this is quite important that a US Embassy can make this announcement publicly. And then the question becomes, if the US Embassy were to go on your social media account, if you were to put in an application to travel to the US for study visa, whatever, and they check your social media account, what will they find? What is your digital footprint? What is your digital DNA? What are you leaving out there? These are important questions. The US Embassy is making theirs publicly for people to know they're doing this, but every company out there is secretly checking on their candidate before they bring them to the team. So your digital footprint is the trail that you leave online. Everything from your social media posts and profile photos to your comments and content and what other people are tagging you in, that's all your digital footprint. What type of digital footprint is there? It is the sum of how you show up in the digital world. And it shapes how people perceive you before they even meet you. I met a lady, she was sharing a story. She's a HR professional in one of the organizations, and she said they had interviewed this guy, and he seemed perfect on paper. But when she and the team decided to reach out on his social media, he is posting on Twitter and talking about women's place belong in the kitchen. And they were to employ her, and this guy was supposed to be under her. So the question that they were asking is that if he is coming in to work for them under a woman, and he thinks women belong in the kitchen, he's never going to listen to authority in that sense. That was the final nail to the coffin, and they were like, nope, bye-bye, we can't work with you. What type of content are you leaving online? There was another guy that said they had considered him, and they went on his social media. It was a photo of him. He had nothing on, a guy, but the socks on his, you know, and he posted and posted it online. And the company was like, no, thank you. So all of these things matter, but people are leaving so much footprints out there that they don't realize that it's impacting them on opportunities. So the question is not whether you have a digital footprint or not. If you have a smartphone here and you have any social media handle, you have a digital footprint already. The real question is, are you intentional about building that, or is it something accidental?